Good morning, students. My name is Kara Crawford, and this is Elle Turner, and today we are discussing the 19th Amendment.
The 19th Amendment was ratified in 1920 and granted women's suffrage. Suffrage is defined as the right to vote in a political election. And now we are going to Ellie Allen in the studio to discuss more events leading to women being granted suffrage.
The year is 1848 and over 300 people meet in New York for the Seneca Falls Convention where they sign the Declaration of Sentiments in support of women's suffrage. Following that, in 1851, Sojourner Truth delivers a speech entitled Ain't I a Woman, where she petitions for equal treatment as men. In 1868, African American males are given the right to vote despite the fact that women still don't have the right to vote, and in 1869, NAWSA is founded by Susan B. Anthony. Following that, Susan B. Anthony tries to vote in an election and is arrested in 1872, and in 1896, Utah grants women full suffrage as it is admitted to the Union. In 1909, Women's Suffrage Party is founded to support women's suffrage, and in 1913, the National Women's Party is founded by Alice Paul and Lucy Burns. In 1918, the House votes 274 to 136 in support of the suffrage amendment for women, and in 1920, women's suffrage is finally ratified, and women are given the right to vote.
And now, C-SPAN has more on the story.
They were the first people ever to picket the White House. Picketing was legal under the Clayton Antitrust Act. Workers had picketed. Women workers had picketed in the long shirtwaist workers' strike of 1909-1910. But these were not Italian or Jewish immigrant girls, and the object of their picketing was the President of the United States. People in the nation's capital were shocked. They flocked to see the pickets. They were tourist attractions. Who were they then? They were white women, middle and upper class women, wives and mothers, married to professionals or professionals themselves, nurses, teachers, society leaders with pedigrees stretching back to colonial days. Some were elderly. Little Mary Nolan came up by train from Florida. She was 75. Eminently respectable, proper, and well-behaved ladies, not the sort of people to demonstrate. After picketing every day, they came back to headquarters and had tea.
And now for some interviews discussing the topic.
It's a right, it's not a privilege, it's a right.
It is both a right and a privilege. It is a right in that we all do have it, assuming that you're 18 years old. It is a privilege in that if you do not take advantage of it, then you've dismissed it as it's something that's not important to you. And so if you hold it dear, you will honor it and you'll be able to vote. If we find ourselves in a communist country, voting is 98%, but they tell you who to vote for. And so now we have a situation where we have options and choices, and we need to consider that to be a privilege and take full advantage of it.
For us United States citizens, it is definitely a privilege. Not everyone has the right to vote. You have to earn the right to have the privilege to vote and to be a citizen of the United States of America. The 19th Amendment is where women have the right to vote. Our women now in our country have the privilege to vote because of their hard work and their work ethic, and they are equal to men. They're the same, they're created equal but not the same. And that privilege to vote is for all Americans.
I think it's both. I think everyone deserves the right to vote, and I'm so happy that our country gives everyone that right. At the same time, I think people need to take it as a privilege, as something they need to take seriously and research before they take advantage of that privilege.
I feel like there's some gray area between the two. Like, it isn't a right nor is it a privilege, but it's both, you know? So like, as long as people use it in the right way and don't just, say, oh, what the hey with it.
I think it's a right.
Voting is a privilege. Luckily in America we do have the freedom to vote, and it's a choice. So I think that it's important that people vote.
I definitely think it's a privilege because we're in a position where we can actually vote for our officials, and that impacts the decisions that they make in the government. Take a country like North Korea, where their citizens are given a ballot and they have one candidate on it that's already been chosen for them. They have no way to impact the government or the decisions that they make. A lot of Americans take this for granted because we have a really low voter turnout. But I'm just glad I live in a country where I can vote and actually feel like I make a difference in the policy-making decisions.
If if I didn't have the right to vote, I would feel like my voice in politics today, in today's world, in today's society, wouldn't really matter. And, I just feel like having the right to vote is important to people of all colors and all genders, all nationalities.
Every United States citizen, regardless of sex or gender, should have the right to voice their opinions in issues by a voting ballot. Women pay taxes, women have jobs, women go to school, women are immersed fully in society to where what they do should be able to be reflected by the officials that they elect. And so they should have a right to say, yes, that person is for the views that I have, and so I want to vote for them, or no, I don't want to vote for them because they don't reflect the same views that I have.
The 19th Amendment is good because women deserve just as many rights as men, and women are U.S. citizens too, and they have problems that they need to address to the government as well. And if you take away their right to vote, then they don't have a voice. But the 19th Amendment gave them a voice and allowed them to vote and express their problems and affect the policy-making decision.
Well, everybody has a voice, and females especially have equal voices to men, so why should we not have equal say? So, again, it's a right. Everybody has the right to vote.
Now that women do have the right to vote, they have a much higher voter turnout than men.
Would you look at that? But for now, I'm Elle Turner, and this is Kara Crawford signing off for EEK News.